Hey, New Life Church, my name is Drew, and I want to take a minute to talk to you about truth and lies. And we're going to do that through the lens of one of my favorite movie series, The Lord of the Rings. And before you check out on me or think I'm too much of a nerd, which actually I am, so guilty, give me a chance, because there's a lot of content here to pull from. And in the world of Lord of the Rings, there's a very clear power struggle between good and evil. And if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you might think of big epic battles with two armies and swords and punching and on a grand battlefield, and they're coming together and they're fighting in some beautiful place in New Zealand. And you're not wrong, because that is most of the movies. In the second movie in the series, there is a very different type of battle being waged. A few of the main characters go to a kingdom that they've been to before, some of them full of good people, generally, led by a good, proud king. And as they get close, they start to hear whisperings that things maybe aren't all okay. Things aren't what they used to be. There's trouble, there's discontent in the kingdom, and come to find out that there's something wrong with the king. So they walk into the throne room, and this once proud, strong king is just not what he used to be. He's a ghost of himself. As you can see here, he's not okay. He's not healthy. That's not a healthy man right there. And we learn quickly that the battle that's happening isn't the armies on the field waging war, but it's lies. Someone has come into this court, you see him here, and he's started to whisper lies to this king. He gained his trust. He probably came in and was really helpful at the beginning. He gained his trust, and he started telling lies. He came from the enemy to tell lies, and the king believed them. And you can see the effect that this had on his body and the effect that it's had on his kingdom. Things are falling apart. So as followers of Jesus, oftentimes these are the types of battles that we face. It's not a grand army in the distance that we can see coming from miles away. It's a lie that slips in unnoticed. Maybe it looks like a friend, and it starts to distort and manipulate the way that you view the world, the way that you view yourself and God. And it creeps in, it gains purchase in our hearts, and it begins to separate us from the Father, driving us towards sin. And pastor and author John Mark Comer describes it in his book, Live No Lies, this way. He says, "We sin because we believe a lie about what will make us happy. If he can get us to doubt," talking about the enemy, "if he can get us to doubt God and instead trust in our own inner intuition as an accurate compass to the good life, he has us." In the ultimate irony, sin sabotages our capacity for happiness by appealing to our God-given desire for happiness via deceptive ideas. And this is scary, guys. This is so scary, because these things that we allow in, the things that we put in front of our eyes, they can get into our bodies, and just like you saw with King Theoden, they can wreak havoc. So what do we do? Well, how do we fight all of these lies that are coming at us from all these different directions? Well, let's look at the scene. So Gandalf, that's Theoden's friend, fancy name, it's fine. As Gandalf is walking up to the throne, yes, there's punching. It's an action movie, I'm sorry. But as he's walking up to the throne and there's punching, he calls out the lies. So he recognizes the liar.
"Be silent. Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth."
He calls him forward and he sends him away. So that's something we have to do. We have to be able to recognize a lie when it comes into our mind. And the next thing is probably the most important thing. As he's walking up to the throne, he reminds him who he is.
Theoden, son of Thengel.
He says, Theoden. He tells him who his father is. He's reminding him of his identity, and that's so important for us. In Job 33:4, it says, "The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life." We have to be able to remember this if we're ever going to fight these lies. And then the next thing he does is he replaces the lie with truth. So just like he told him his name, he's replacing the lies with truth. He's letting him see clearly what he used to, he couldn't see at all because of the lies. So, and in this moment, you can see Theoden change. You can see him start to recognize his friends again. You can see him start to recognize his family again. And this withered, crippled creature is turning back into the once proud king that he used to be. So for King Theoden, as you just saw, this change happened really quickly. I mean, he did a 180 like that. He was exposed to the truth and boom, he's all better. For us, it may not be that simple. It probably won't be that simple. We're gonna have to put in some work, and we're gonna have to be intentional about replacing these lies with the truth of the scripture. And so what I've been doing, and I want to invite you to do with me, is as I hear a lie in my mind, as I hear a lie from the world, I write it down, and then I seek the Lord for a scripture that's going to speak truth over that lie. For me personally, I'll give you an example. The lie is often, I'm not good enough. And so the scripture that I have written out next to that is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So when I start to feel that I'm not good enough, I recite that scripture in my mind, and then I do it again, and then I do it again, and then I do it again because I forget. 5 seconds later, I'm hearing the lie again. I repeat the verse again, and it's helping me. Honestly, it's changing the way that I think from being focused about me to focusing on the truth of the Lord. And so thank you so much for your time today. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching Lord of the Rings with me, and we'll see you next time.